welcome to We Poets. My name is Sally Baker, and I'm the host of We Poets. We Poets is a poetry show for boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13 years old. So if you would like to come and be on We Poets, please have your school teacher or your parents call me at the number which will appear on the screen. I'm always looking for new youngsters to come and read their poetry. Also, I'm always looking for adult guests to come and tell young people something about their job or careers that young people can pursue when they graduate from high school and college. Today I have a very special guest, and she's going to tell us all about monarch butterflies. Her name is Christine Mitchell. So here we go. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Sally.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm so glad you could come and tell us all about monarch butterflies.
Okay. Happy.
When did you get interested in monarch butterflies?
I got interested 3 years ago. I had read an article about how the monarch butterfly population has decreased tremendously. I mean, there used to be thousands that would go to the different sanctuaries along the California coast, and now it's down in the just like a few thousand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do you think this has happened?
Because the milkweed plants are what they eat, and that's all that they eat. A lot of like houses are being built, where milkweed used to be, and different developments and all kind of things like that. Pesticides probably has something to do with it too, because a lot of times monarchs travel a long way, so they have to stop along the way and get nectar from flowers. And they need food too from flowers. That's where their food source. And so, like if housing goes in where there used to be native flowers, then that's part of the problem, is they don't have food either.
I see. And so monarchs travel a long distance, right, in their lifespan?
Yeah. Their lifespan, so there's like 3 to 5 generations that make up the yearly migratory cycle.
Oh.
The first and second generations are born and they remain in the U.S., and most migratory monarchs are from the third generation, and they emerge in late summer and early fall, and they can live up to 9 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they like the warm climates, of course.
Yes, definitely.
What do they do during the cold climates? Go to the warm climates, huh?
Yeah. They mostly go to Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Do you have any more information about the climate and what have you in Mexico? Why they go there? Of course, it's warmer.
No, I don't really know that much about when they're down there.
I see, when they're down there.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about the milkweed that you talked about.
There's several different kinds of milkweed. There's native, and I discovered this year there's like different kinds of the native. There's like some that have big leaves, some medium leaves, and some skinny little leaves. And then there's a tropical milkweed. In the first year, I fed the butterflies tropical milkweed because they love that, and they didn't necessarily like the native. And then controversy came out about the tropical milkweed because it has a parasite that will affect the butterflies. And can hurt them and even, I guess, kill them. So you don't want the tropical, you want the native. So last year and this year the nurseries are not selling the tropical at all. So a law went into effect where they're not supposed to sell the tropical.
Really?
Yeah. So now it's just native. So my butterflies this year, they do like the different kinds of native milkweed that I have. They like the wider leaves because they get pretty big, and the thin leaf ones are kind of hard for the big ones to hang on to.
Wow.
But they figure it out.
Now tell us about your garden, the plants you have and the cages, I guess.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
Okay. So what I've done is I've built cages out of chicken wire. And the cages are like this big around. And then I take netting.
Netting.
Which my sister-in-law gave me. Because she does wedding dress alterations. So this is from someone's wedding dress. And it's netting. So I put this around the outside of the cage because I found a yellow jacket that was feeding on one of the monarch caterpillars a couple years ago.
Oh.
So this protects them from birds and from any bug that wants to get to them. So this goes around the outside of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And it does, it helps definitely. So after they go through many different phases, they go through 5 what they call instars. And so like during the first instar, the caterpillar is very, very small. I have to get out my magnifying glass to try to find them.
Wow.
And you can see these teeny tiny little worms, and you can find like a hole in the milkweed leaf, and so that might be where you want to start looking, or you will watch the eggs, because the monarch butterfly females have come through and laid little white eggs underneath the leaves.
Oh.
Let's see, the different stages are when the second instar or stage is on the day 6, and the third instar is day 9. On day 12 they molt, and the 5th instar is on day 18. So you can see them just getting like from about half an inch long to an inch long. So I think these are the different stages of the instars. And by the time they're, let's see, on day 18, the 5th instar, they're probably, some of them can be up to 1.5 inches.
Oh.
And they're pretty round. So usually about day 18, they attach themselves to the top of the cage, or somewhere in the cage usually, and they hang upside down in a J form.
Oh, a J form.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, the letter J.
Yeah.
And so you're going, okay, he's going to go into cocoon very soon. And we've never seen this happen, because they go in, they're like this long, and then they go into a cocoon that ends up about half that size. And we've never seen how they do it, but this year my husband got a picture, which David will show you. And it's amazing, because they shed their skin. And I read that they kind of shake their whole body to shake the skin off, and then this beautiful green, what do they call it, chrysalis or cocoon is formed, and it's like a bright green. It's I don't know if you can see the green on here, but it's this bright green color.
Oh.
And it has almost like little gold dots on it. And I don't know if they're gold or not, but they're amazing. So then they stay in the cocoon, let's see. So they stay in the chrysalis form of cocoon for 12 days, depending on the weather. So we found like later in the year, like now, if it's cold out, they stay in their chrysalis longer.
Of course. Yeah. They want to stay warm.
Yeah. And if it's warm out, they seem to come out much sooner.
Yes.
So like when we had the heat spell, a week or so ago, one went into cocoon, and he was only in cocoon a couple days, and he emerged and he flew away.
Oh.
So the cocoon is green until they're ready to emerge. Then it turns into a black color, and you can see their wings. So you see the black lines and the yellow or the orange through the chrysalis. It's truly amazing. And then one day they just start coming out. So their wings are all like really folded up.
Folded up.
And then they start, you can kind of watch them. They start getting straighter and straighter. And then they start flapping them, and they'll spend, if it's warm, they'll fly away within a few hours.
Oh.
If it's cold, they can be there for a day. So they're on top of the cage, they've crawled up the wire, and they're hanging out on top of the cage, just getting used to their wings.
But if you have netting over the cage, how are they going to get out?
Once we see the cocoon itself turn dark and we see the wings, then we take the netting off the top.
Oh, I see.
So they can just climb up the sides. And the other day, there had been one in the cage for a couple hours, and it didn't seem to quite know the way out. So for the first time ever, I put my finger in, and he crawled on my finger, and then I lifted him out to the top of the cage.
And then it flew away?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they say bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Thanks for taking good care of us.
Right. Exactly. And so that was really, really amazing.
Oh, good. Now let's see here. How can people help the monarchs thrive?
By planting milkweed, and I found milkweed at lots of different nurseries this year. There is a special nursery out in Richmond on Canal. I think Canal Boulevard it's called, and it's like the watershed nursery.
Okay.
And they have a lot of the native plants. And then the other day, because like when the caterpillars get bigger, they eat a lot of milkweed.
Oh, I can imagine.
And so then you start getting worried. It's like, well, how am I going to have enough food to keep them
feed
fed?
Yes.
So I just found East Bay Nursery on San Pablo. They had a whole bunch of plants.
Oh, good.
So I went and bought 3 plants, and so now all my caterpillars are happy.
Yes.
Got plenty of food.
Yes.
So their diet consists solely of milkweed.
Oh.
And they can consume up to 200 times their body weight of the toxic plant as they mature. 200 times. The toxicity is passed on to the adult butterflies and serves as their primary defense against predators.
Oh.
So because of the coloring of the caterpillars and the coloring of the butterflies, all predators supposedly know don't touch it because it's poison and it will kill you.
Oh.
Or kill the bug that's attacking them. So it's very interesting how this all comes about.
Oh. Now the butterflies are always one color, right?
Yes.
And tell us the color.
They're like this orange color.
Like my scarf and my butterfly?
Yeah. Yeah, so here's like butterflies in a grove or in a sanctuary.
Tell us, what is a sanctuary?
So a sanctuary is like where a national park has put aside an area, and so sometimes you have to pay, other times you don't, and you can go see, because the butterflies that's where they go to every year. So there's one in Santa Cruz called Natural Bridges.
Oh, okay.
And last year, I think it was, or maybe 2 years ago, we went down with friends to Natural Bridges because you could sign up and plant flowers for the monarchs.
Oh.
So we stayed down there overnight and we planted all these flowers in the park, and we're pretty close to the beach in Santa Cruz. And very interestingly enough, that day was the day that the tsunami hit. I don't know if you remember, like a year or so ago, there was an earthquake somewhere, and the tsunami came through.
Oh.
And so we all ran over to the cliffs, because the cliffs are pretty high down there. And we watched the water rise up. It didn't come in waves, but it just kept rising higher and higher. And we were watching it, and then it started, to go down. And then later on, we found the harbor was just, we could see the harbor. The harbor had been damaged by the tsunami. But it was really pretty exciting. So then we went back to planting more flowers for the monarchs at the sanctuary in Santa Cruz. There's another one in Pacific Grove, which is just south of Monterey.
Okay.
And they have quite a few. Let's see. So at Natural Bridges in Santa Cruz, last year they saw 10,000.
10,000 monarchs?
Yes, because they do a count, like they do a Thanksgiving count or a count earlier in the season.
Well, how can they count them? That many?
I think they have a lot of volunteers, and so they probably each take a section of a branch.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So that's in Santa Cruz. Pacific Grove Sanctuary in 2023 had 6,500, and that was all. And in 2022 they had 15,960. So you can see, quite a decrease. That's more than half that they decreased just in that year. Let's see. So then Pismo Beach is down closer to LA, and they have what they call the Pismo State Beach Monarch Butterfly Grove.
Wow.
And they had a count of 24,128 in 2023. So we were down there, we went to Pismo Beach in October, and there were a few butterflies flying around, but they have a really nice trailer and a nice setup for the children.
Good.
So that you can experience, and read all about how to help the monarchs and what you can do for them.
And I think David said when he was a small child, he went to, it was in Mexico, right?
Yes. Yes, there's a big I don't know if it's a sanctuary, but I read recently in this magazine that there were some scientists, they were trying to figure out where all the monarchs go. You know,
yes.
It's like, we know they go there, but where?
Where?
So they hiked through the mountains, it's my understanding, like for several months. And then finally one day they came upon this grove, and there were probably, I mean, I would imagine thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
Because monarchs from the Midwestern states, they all, I think, go straight to Mexico.
Wow.
They don't come to California, and they have a whole different pattern of how they do things.
Wow. They must have a convention, a monarch convention, and they all talk to each other and say, now we're going to be here at a certain time, and don't get our path.
I think so, because like when they're growing up, when they're caterpillars, a lot of times you'll see two that just kind of hang out together.
Oh.
They're often on the same branch, eating the same leaves.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to We Poets. I'm Sally Baker, the host, and we're going to continue our discussion about monarch butterflies, and my guest is Christine Mitchell. Okay, Christine, here we go.
Okay. So this is National Geographic from January of this year. A friend of mine gave it to me, and there's a big story, several different stories of the different monarchs. And so I have a picture here of the egg on the milkweed. And then this is a bigger picture of kind of like what the egg looks like. And next you have a little teeny tiny caterpillar. And then here we have the second instar, third, fourth, and fifth instar. And you can see, I mean, this is pretty much full life. So they can get this big. And then at this phase, then they go into what we call the chrysalis or the cocoon. And you can see hopefully that it's green and it has like gold dots on it. Then this cocoon turns black, and you can see the wings through it, and you know the butterfly is going to come out in a day or two. And then here we have our monarch butterfly coming out. So that's all the pictures of the amazing monarchs.
And they're always one color, what? Orange?
Yes, they're always just the one color. And here you can see farmers with zinnias because they love zinnias. That's a really good thing to plant. But my zinnias haven't worked out so well.
I see. Now, how do you tell the females from the male butterflies?
Let's see. There is. Sorry. The females. The lines on their wings are wider.
Oh.
And the male has a little bit of a dot on the lower part of each wing. So that's how you tell between the male and the female.
I see.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool.
I wonder if the female butterfly lives longer than the male butterfly.
Yeah, I don't know that, but you would think, because they have to reproduce,
right?
And that's their main goal. So that could be. Yeah, that could definitely be.
Right. And you say they all fly in groups to their destination.
Yes. Yes. So they fly to warm regions where milkweed is available for their offspring. And North America has two populations: western monarchs that breed west of the Rockies and winter in coastal California. So I guess ours don't actually go to Mexico. And the eastern monarchs that breed in the Great Plains, Canada, and Florida. And many of them migrate to central Mexico for the winter.
For the winter?
Yeah. Yeah. So I misstated earlier that ours go to Mexico.
Now, are there any other pictures that you want to show?
Well, this picture, I would say, is a male because you can see that little dot right there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And so that would be your male butterfly. We like to name our butterflies.
Oh,
We have one we call Bob.
Bob, B-O-B.
Yeah. And every time we see a butterfly going down the street, or for some reason they like to go between our house and our neighbor's house.
Oh.
They fly through there a lot. And we go, Bob, what are you doing, Bob? Come back. So it's fun. It's fun to give them names. And,
What other names have you given them?
I've named one after my niece, Jaden.
Oh, okay.
And I think one was Elizabeth. And one was Fred.
Okay.
So like here is a picture of Mexico.
Okay.
And it's the Day of the Dead. And I read this man is decorating the graves of his relatives.
Oh, nice.
And they believe that monarchs are the souls of their ancestors.
Nice.
So isn't that amazing?
Yes, that beautiful church in the background. Oh, beautiful. And his outfit, look at his outfit. Oh, that's so colorful.
Yeah.
Isn't that
yeah,
nice?
he's dressed up for the special day.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely.
So, so on the front here, this shows what the butterflies look like in the sanctuaries. And they fold their wings inside out.
Wow.
So that they can't be seen because they're so bright. So here's one butterfly who's coming through, and he said he wants to join because they stick together because it keeps them warm.
Oh.
And it's just really amazing. There's another place you can go see them that's closer to us.
Oh.
It's in Ardenwood, which is just down Highway 880.
Yeah, I've heard of Ardenwood.
And it's the exit you would take for the Dumbarton Bridge. And so Ardenwood's like really cool for kids because they have like all these animals, like peacocks,
Right.
and all the funny animals. But a lot of times the monarchs will go down there, and so we've been down there to see them in like November or December, and you can see them hanging in the trees like this. It's really amazingly beautiful. So if it's cool, then they're going to stay like this. There isn't much activity, but as soon as it warms up, you start seeing them flying around, and they can just be flying all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah. And some will like fall to the ground, and you're like taking pictures of it. And they'll have cameras set. I'm not cameras, but not telescopes, but like the whatever those things are that like. They're kind of like binoculars, but they're just one.
Oh.
So it's what like bird watchers use.
Good.
I forget what those are called, but so you can really see them. It's really amazing.
Yes, that's and why is he orange and the rest of them are?
Well, because the underside of their wings are the paler color.
Okay.
So they've turned their wings inside out. Yeah, I don't know how they do that,
but they do it.
Yeah, and this is the first time I heard about that was when I read it in here. But you always kind of wonder, why are they like much paler, and then this particular one is bright. But as soon as he gets in the middle of all of them, he will be pale too.
Okay. He pales down.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Is there any advice you would like to give to children or adults about becoming monarch people?
Well, you just have to get 2 or 3 milkweed plants, and in August, you will see monarchs coming through. So, and you just hope that they go to your milkweed. I kind of prop my milkweed up like about a foot off the ground so that the monarchs will see them when they come through.
And how many cages do you have?
I have 3 cages at the moment.
3? That's quite a few.
Yeah, it is. I have, I can have up to 5 caterpillars in a cage, and they're different stages. I have a little one and, big one.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Now, how about your neighbors? Are they interested? Do they come over and look and you teach them?
I've shown them. We were just out of town, and my neighbor had to come over, and a butterfly actually emerged when she was taking care of it.
Oh,
so
good.
She took a picture and sent it to me, like this was on Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah,
this past Monday?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so when we got home, of course, the butterfly had flown away.
Isn't this something?
Yeah.
Now, before we close our interview, I want you to look right there at the camera and tell people how they can contact you. Email.
Okay, my email is stampdot@mindspring.com, and that is stampdot@mindspring.com. And the reason I have such a funny name is because I make cards, so I stamp a lot, and Dot was the name of my cat.
Dot,
that I had,
your
that
cat.
lived to be 23 years old.
Oh, but you don't have a cat now?
No.
No.
She passed.
Oh, yes,
But, yeah,
yes. Did you ever have a dog?
When I was younger, I had a dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
but since I've lived here, I haven't had one.
And quickly, what other activities are you interested in?
I make greeting cards, and I also plant a lot of succulents, and so I put a variety of different kinds of succulents into pots and give them to my friends, and I have a lot of them in my backyard. So
Good.
they're really easy.
And I know you like to cook and bake. Quickly, tell us about that.
Sally loves my apple butter.
Yes.
So you take a crock pot, you fill it up with sweet apples, and you cook it for 10 hours.
10 hours? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it cooks way, way down. And then the last 2 hours, you turn it on high, and it reduces down even more. So you think you have a lot, but then by the time you're done, you only have about this much. So, and you don't have to use sugar. That's the great thing about apple butter, because so many jams and jellies have so much sugar in them.
Oh.
And it's really good. It's spiced with cinnamon, and pretty good.
Good, good. Well, I certainly enjoyed it. I can't find it at the grocery stores anymore. And when you told me you made apple butter, you gave me a sample. And, oh, it was delicious, delicious.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're a woman of all trades.
Yeah. I like to do lots of different things.
Yes.
I volunteer for the White Elephant Sale every year, which is like a huge rummage sale.
Yes.
And it benefits the Oakland Museum.
Good, good.
So that's always entertaining and interesting. You find all kind of crazy stuff that have been donated, things that have been donated. So I love doing that. And I also volunteer at Alta Bates.
What do you do at Alta Bates?
I call people every morning, different people that are on the list, that just like to remind them to take their medications, or just say hi and chat and just see how their day's going.
That's good. Well, you're a busy lady, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to come and be on We Poets and tell us about the monarch butterflies. We've learned so much, and I hope you get lots of calls. Other people who'd be interested in doing this, although it does take a lot of time and patience.
It does, yeah.
And I applaud you for that. Well, anyway, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
And boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen and adults, if you would like to be a poet on We Poets, or you'd like to be a guest like Christine has been today, please call me at area code 510-848-6905 or email me at wepoets@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we're going to say goodbye. Let's say goodbye, Christine.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.